Hey guys, this is Vaughn. I'm gonna go through today and tell you guys how to turn a regular mouse into a gaming mouse. A regular mouse only has a left click and a right click and a mouse scroll forward and mouse scroll backwards. So what we're gonna do today is I'm going to turn your regular mouse into a two-button gaming mouse, and I will show you how that's done. It's really simple. You hit into your key bindings, and from key bindings, you're going to go into action bar, and from action bar, action 1, I'm going to left click that, and then I'm going to roll my mouse pad forward for mouse wheel up, and action button number 2, I will left click that, roll my mouse button down, and that's down wheel. So up wheel is action 1, down wheel is action 2. I will hit OK, return to game, and I'm going to test it out. I'm going to roll my wheel forward. Sure enough, that's my little arrow thingy. If I left click, boom, that's right where my arrow lands, right? Let me roll my mouse button backwards, and it should be my number 2 attack. Sure enough, my number 2 attack, it's a macro that allows me to lock onto a target and shoot it, right? So I have now successfully turned a simple mouse into a gaming mouse. My button 1 is roll forward, my button 2 is roll backwards. Now, a lot of people might say, but Vaughn, my roll forward and roll backwards covered my camera angles, like zoom in and zoom out. You're absolutely correct. So we're going to fix that by escaping out, once again going into key bindings. This time, what we're going to do is go into camera. When you go into camera, you're going to go into zoom in, left click on the 2 side here. You're going to left click on zoom in. And what I usually use is right next to the M button on my keyboard, there is an arrow pointing to the M. I always like to think of the M as me. So I'm going to click that button, and then to zoom out, I will left click on this next zoom out thing, and I'm going to use the opposite arrow, the arrow that's pointing to the question mark. So boom. And now I will hit OK and hit return, and let's test it out. Arrow in to the M button. Look at that, I'm zooming in on myself. And arrow away. Look at that, I'm zooming away from myself. I have now successfully turned a regular mouse into a gaming mouse, right? Now, if you have a mouse with 2 keys on the sides, what you can do is go into, once again, key bindings, go into action bar, and what we can do is left click action number 3 and turn that into mouse button 4, action click button number 4, and action button number 5, and hit OK, hit return, right? So what I'm going to do now, without putting my mouse down below and without clicking any buttons with my fingers on the keyboard at all, only using my mouse by itself, I am going to roll forward, left click. I just now dropped my arrow. I am going to now roll backwards, shooting basically my Cobra shot. I am now going to do my Beastral Wrath, and I'm now going to do Murder of Crows, and I'm still going to be attacking. So basically, the very first 4 buttons, depending on what it is that I'm doing, I have now successfully turned into a gaming mouse. So if I had one of the El Cheapo gaming mice that just have two buttons on the left side or the right side, wherever the buttons are, I have now just turned button 1 into roll forward, button 2 into roll back, button 4 on the side into button 3, and button 4 into my fifth key basically on my mouse. So now I just successfully made my mouse right where I can put 4 attacks, 1 through 4, into my rotation. Now, if I was a smart person, I would put button 1 as making button 1 my Cobra shot, button 2 kill command, button 3 bestial wrath, and button 4 murder of crows. By doing that, it would make it right where I can essentially put a 4-button rotation all on my mouse, never once having to touch the keyboard whatsoever, and be successful at never touching my keyboard and doing a 4-button rotation, which anymore nowadays, when you think about it, a majority of the classes are 4-button rotations. Well, that's it for this time around with making your life easy with Vaughn.